Yeah, we don't want nobody telling us what to do. We don't want nobody pushing us around.
I apologize. But tell me, just what is it that you want to do?
Before Brando mumbled, a different breed of Hollywood star was already breaking the mold. These were the original rebel actors and actresses who defied the studios, challenged censorship, and rewrote the rules of fame. They didn't wait for permission. They took it. Number 1, Douglas Fairbanks. Douglas Fairbanks was the bold male figure who took on the studios. Long before the term movie star was coined, Douglas Fairbanks was Hollywood royalty, Hollywood's original action hero. Let's rewind to the 1910s. The movie industry was booming, and actors were just employees. The studios were gods, and stars were their puppets, paid per picture and boxed into contracts so tight that they couldn't breathe. And that is where Fairbanks came as a rebel. Audiences adored him. He didn't just play heroes, he was one. For him, each film was bigger than the last, but behind that stage was a mind sharper than his sword. Fairbanks looked around and saw that actors were treated like factory workers, and he hated it. He knew they deserved more. Number 2, Mae West. In an era where women were expected to smile sweetly and speak softly, Mae West walked in like a storm wearing heels. She wasn't just a movie star, she was dynamite in a satin gown. Growing up in Brooklyn, the journey to Hollywood was not so easy for West. She wrote her plays, and one among them was sex, and it even got her thrown in jail. By the time she hit the silver screen in the early 1930s, Hollywood didn't know what hit it. Her first starring role in She Done Him Wrong was a box office blast. With her attractive eyes and that voice, Mae didn't just flirt with the audience, she made them think. Is that a gun in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? That wasn't just cheeky, it was revolutionary. Mae West didn't just break the rules, she rewrote them. It was like she wasn't ahead of her time, she made the time to catch up. Number 3, James Cagney. When James Cagney lit up the screen, he wasn't just playing gangsters. He was the fire. He made tough guy cool before it was a cliche. But behind the scenes, Cagney was even tougher. It was the early 1930s, and Warner Brothers locked him into a contract that treated him like a product, using him hit after hit while paying him a fraction of what he was worth. But James Cagney knew his worth, and he was not built for obedience. In 1935, fed up with being underpaid and overworked, he did something almost unthinkable for the time. He sued the studio. And guess what he won? And that was his transformation from a normal Irish American from New York to a symbol of resistance. And they called him the professional againster, because he fought against anything and everything unfair. He didn't stop with a court win, he decided to build a new door for talent and co-founded Cagney Productions, putting himself in the driver's seat. And that was the first step towards demanding fairness, dignity, and choice in an industry that treated stars like pawns. Number 4, John Cassavetes. Forget the formula of Hollywood. John Cassavetes is not someone who was interested in clean story arcs or pretty lighting. He wanted something messy, something real. In the late 1950s, while other actors were chasing studio contracts, Cassavetes was sneaking into radio stations to promote a film called Shadow, which barely existed. This movie was fueled by raw emotion and a refusal to play it safe. This wasn't just an indie film before indie was a thing, and it was a cinematic anarchy that echoed boldness. Cassavetes went on to make films like Faces, A Woman Under the Influence, and The Killing of a Chinese Bookie. All of them were self-funded, deeply personal, and brutally honest. The sacrifices he made for those films should never be ignored. He paid for movies with acting gigs he didn't love, mortgaged his house to finance his passion, and directed scenes that were chaotic, yet beautiful. His actors find the soul of each scene. Let me tell you, he didn't chase the spotlight. He lit his fire and dared others to come stand in it. Number 5, Peter Fonda. In a town built on legacy, Peter Fonda was not ready to ride the easy road. Son of Hollywood titan Henry Fonda, brother of rising star Jane Fonda, his path was paved in gold. But he didn't want the studio throne. He wanted a motorcycle and the freedom to burn the whole map. It was the late 1960s. America was on fire. The youth were questioning everything, and Hollywood wasn't listening. The streets of America were craving for something real and meaningful. Fonda heard it loud and clear. So he teamed up with Dennis Hopper and Jack Nicholson to make a film that flipped the script. And for him, Easy Rider wasn't just a movie, it was a movement. With a tight budget and high counterculture spirit, the movie talked about two bikers chasing freedom across a divided America. Peter co-wrote it, produced it, and moreover, he lived it. He was shouting out his rebellion in the movie. But no studies wanted it because they thought it was too wild and honest. But when it hit theaters in 1969, Easy Rider exploded. Audiences packed in while critics talked about it non-stop. It made over $60 million on a $400,000 budget and broke the Hollywood system into pieces that were beyond repair. And for him, it was not just a movie, but a blueprint for independent voices, for raw stories, for truth on screen. And that is how Peter Fonda earned his place in film history, mile by mile. Number 6, Marlene Dietrich. She was not just a star. Marlene Dietrich was a walking revolution in heels. In the 1930s, women in Hollywood were expected to play submissive roles and smile sweetly for the camera. But Marlene Dietrich showed up on the screen echoing, "Try me." She blurred gender lines with a style that the press called scandalous, while she called it freedom. Dietrich fought her way to international fame through The Blue Angel, and when she landed in Hollywood, director Josef von Sternberg tried to mold her into a puppet. But Dietrich wasn't anyone's puppet for sure. She fought for better scripts, better pay, and complete control over her image. Dietrich didn't just reject the studio system's rules, but she redefined cultural, political, and gender at every stop that she made. One thing is for sure, she was definitely not built for Hollywood's box. She was destined to kick it open and walk out in style. Hollywood will always tell, before breaking the rules, think about the career suicide that follows it. But these stars, they didn't just break the rules, they rewrote the script. And not with permission, but with passion, grit, and guts. Starting with Douglas Fairbanks, built an empire for artists while Mae West made America blush and laugh at the same time. When it comes to James Cagney, he took on the studios like a street brawler when Cassavetes chose to show the truth to the world. Peter Fonda didn't hesitate to expose the cracks that Hollywood suffered when Marlene Dietrich shattered gender, silence, and expectations. And those journeys would have never been easy. It must have come with lots of failures, threats, and utmost ignorance. But they didn't give up till the world was ready to change. And remember, their fight wasn't just for themselves. It was for every voice that didn't fit the mold, and every story that didn't sound like the last one. Now, are you going to follow someone else's script, or are you bold enough to write your own? Let us know in the comments section. Also, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to keep up with contents that we throw your way. Until next time, catch you in the next one.